I don't know about the TV, so this is like our commenting. Now subscribe to the channel. Now, where the clash between our two forson and Afenyo markin, two competitors. I want to share or betting. I say, well, we need to say, ma, or about baby sending back on that. And any himself two forson animating as a finance minister. It's all betting in public service. How I bet my handle Ghana, yes, Cassel, Nano. Now, Afenyo markin, so I'm found Chishen of Grand Naja. While two be a man, no shade the baby. Mini aqua, and HSA. Out of force in the match and pa, and then to run a papa's more good tea. How I be at the course war, betting as
that is made of. Sometimes some foundations ought to be laid to guide the nominee in his answers, because she said the investor community, both locally and internationally, will be watching and listening. And these are very important partners in our growth program. So if she's going to ask a question that the investor community will be interested in, please, she ought to be given the opportunity to lay some foundation to the question. It doesn't hurt anybody. Thank you.
Chairman, I just want to appeal to all colleagues, especially the respected minority leader. I've been around this table and I saw when Honorable Atta was the ranking and Honorable Joe Wise was the chair. What I saw was I didn't see Honorable Atta trying to be co-chair. At the moment, so far, people watching might think you are a co-chair. So I'm just appealing to you. Your role in this is very important. Without a doubt, it's very important. So for the viewing public, we'll just plead that the two of you should manage such that the interaction between the two of you does not appear as if there's a struggle for power. So I don't have much to say that. We have started well. But if possible, let there be one chair which we all defer to, and then we can make progress. So we will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All members, we had a preliminary meeting and we agreed on the roadmap. Therefore, I will not be happy where the committee will resume work and will be denigrating. So, honourable members, ask a question. Please proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
As I've taken, I notified.
Chairman, the ranking cannot interject anytime you speak. It's completely out of order. You cannot interject anytime the chairman speaks. You are not the chairman of this committee.
Chairman, thank you very much. I tapped you for your leave, and I didn't just get up to make an input. Chairman, also with the greatest respect to you, in all humility, please, this situation where you are more or less directing the member, please, I will not co-chair with you. I know my position. I'm the ranking. Would appreciate so that the member, the nominee himself, will also appreciate the question. So I am pleading with you. I would not co-chair with you. I have cooperated with you thus far. I will not stand in your way. We are in this together. But utmost respect to you. Please. Thank you very much.
Please proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, you're on record. Additional financing from the IMF. What proposal do you intend to present to the IMF?
I did not say I am going to request for additional financing from the IMF. Inaccurate. What I said was we could request for additional finances if the need arises. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question.
My second question is one of the major sources of revenue to fund development. As a matter of fact, one of the conditions of the IMF, the current arrangement with the IMF, is to enhance promised Ghanaians to scrap a number of taxes. So how do you intend?
Nominee, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, let me say it's an excellent question. Mr. Chairman, Ghana currently collects approximately 13.8% of GDP in terms of tax revenue. According to that, we can do out mention a word, access, before you rake in revenue. We have the handles. What we need to do is to improve compliance. I will work with the JRA, the tax policy unit of the Ministry of Finance, to ensure that in the medium term, it is my vision, when approved, to increase the revenue from 13.8, tax revenue from 13.8% of GDP. Tensions are out there. It doesn't that we are going to scrap certain tax. And what we should. For example, scrapping 50 million Ghana cedis will not mean anything in a way that will affect the imposition of such a tax. And so I believe that scrapping such a tax will not necessarily affect the forward march of the Ghanaian economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your last question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Historically, the private sector still complain of differently. What are you going to do differently to ensure the private sector? Thank you.
I said this because if the country look at the T-bill market today, every single week we roll over 111 billion Ghana cedis. And if you were to roll over 111 billion Ghana, that interest rates sometimes immediately work to bring inflation down. And then also working in such a way that we can stabilize inflation, stabilize the exchange rate, and create jobs. Until we do such a thing, certainly the concerns you've raised will still be there, and the waste. And if you cut the waste, certainly you'll be able to, you will not be able to, you will certainly go to the market in a careful way, that you will not be borrowing as much as you are, in a way that interest rate.
One follow-up question.
You said in a response to our respected colleague's question about tax revenue that that
did not say that.
I just want you to clarify the point then.
I said we do not necessarily have.
How do you juxtapose that within the context of your previous position, tax policy by the previous government, where the whole intent was to free? You held the position strongly against that incentive, that taxes be necessarily imposed that are imported for manufacturing in the country and all others. How do you juxtapose that?
Mr. Chairman, I have guys on point of order.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, the nominee did not say that taxes should not be imposed on raw materials. The issue was whether or not taxes already imposed should be received or exempted by this House. So let's communicate accurately.
Thank you very much, sir. Well known. I do not intend to hide from that, and I won't hide from that. Mr. Chairman, tax exemption is gradually becoming a major source of tax expenditure in our fiscal framework. Unfortunately, it's not properly targeted, and so you see a situation where we exempt huge volumes of our taxes to particular companies. At the same time, because we are exempting those taxes, we end up increasing these tax rates for so many other people to pay. I believe everyone else must be given the opportunity to pay taxes. My concern, particularly with the one that you are making, I do not believe that certain individuals must be privileged enough to get tax exemptions, whilst others doing the same should not be given the opportunity to. Exemption for 1D, 1F they should put main concern, particularly my criticism against the 1D1F, has to do with the opaque manner that it has been done in the past. And I still stand by that. If the government, or if this current government still believes that tax exemption in the law, let everyone benefit from it. But don't pick and choose and decide who should benefit from such a tax exemption. I think it's wrong, and taxation must be fair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your last follow-up question.
Chairman, thank you. Leader, I'm making this point as a result of what you just said. But for the records, and Honorable Yabuama is here. He chaired the committee. You may recall that as a result of those concerns, government at the time was able to meet those concerns to the extent that there was